Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, and yes, I'm going to pick up where the others ended. They talked about genetic therapy, genetic gene therapy. That I'm going to talk about epigenetics a little, so I think that's exciting, somewhere in between. I'm CMO of Cereno Scientific. I need this one, yes. And I'm going to tell you a little about what we do. Let's see, where do we have to point it to? Nothing happens when maybe I have to turn it around. No? Yes, okay. We are a company in the clinical stage, focused on cardiovascular disease. We have two products for the moment, CS1 and CS014. CS1 is a reformulation of VPA, a dual-action drug that's aimed for thrombosis, biggest killer in the world. We are also assessing the possibilities of expanding our scope in new areas like fibrosis, inflammation, and hypertension. We started 2012. Our journey started with small capital from Vinnova, went on the spotlight market in 2016, and concluded phase 1 2018, and 2019 have been a very, very fruitful year. We have had a portfolio expansion. We have created a very exciting scientific advisory board, a phase 1 publication, and having approval for phase 2 trial. We are in the middle of where the excitement is, in the middle of AstraZeneca, the BioVenture Hub, which, according to Medici Group, is one of the most novel incubators in the world today. What do we do? What do we affect in the body? We restore the endogenous fibrinolytic system to be activated when and where needed. In a healthy vessel, fibrinolytic capacity takes care of blood clots which are threatening to occlude the vessel. So patients with risk factors have a deficiency here, and they risk the occlusion, causing a myocardial infarction or a stroke or something in that area. We restore the capacity of the system to prevent that occlusion. And how do we do that? We have a new formulation of VPA, a drug that has been around for almost 50 years. And we have done an delayed immediate release formulation, which is patented. We can restore the capacity for TPA and block the activity of PI to kind of take care of the clot formation. And that happens only when and where needed. Not that we put the whole body in a near bleeding state. The system is activated when it's needed. And we have in vitro studies, preclinical models, proof of concept, human physiological studies, epidemiological studies that supports our concept with VPA, and a phase 1 study that has been concluded. So this is the proof of concept in animals. It is a mouse model where you create a thrombus formation with pre-treatment with VPA for 96 hours, and we could reduce the size of the thrombus formation without causing bleedings. In man, we have the forearm model where we can see that both in healthy individuals and in patients with atherosclerotic disease, coronary artery disease, that you can both increase the level of TPA when needed, and you can reduce the plasma pi, both indicators of a thrombus reduction. So the epidemiology is quite strong. VPA used in the whole world for epilepsy have shown that these patients in various countries, actually Denmark, Ireland, and in the UK, show reduction of myocardial infarction and stroke in the range from 25 to 50%. So I think that we are onto something there. The phase 1 study showed that with our formulation, which is given in the evening, gives a peak in the morning hours when pi is the highest in the body. We showed a very good safety and tolerability, a significant reduction of the pi levels, no bleedings, and the targeted pharmacokinetic profile we wanted. That was published this year. So when we go into a thrombosis market, of course, we are up to a very tough competition, especially the NOACs, which are very tough to compete with. But I think with our profile, having antithrombotic efficacy with minimal or no risk of bleeding, and also some possibilities opening up in organ protection with antifibrotic, anti-inflammatory effects, and also reducing pressure in both the pulmonary and the systemic circulation. And you all know the thrombosis market is a huge one. If we just go for one of the NOACs, we can project that we are into a billion-dollar market if we are successful. We have a very strong team with a long experience, both in big pharma and small pharma. Sten Sørensen is our chief executive officer. He has a long experience from Astra and other companies. I'm the CMO, and we have also strong financial and business, and we just tied a new business analyst to our team, Paula Salmo-Sandrak, very efficient. So we have a very strong team, and many of the founders of the company are still in possession of quite a big stock in the company, and the top 10 shareholders, which includes all the founders, have about 40% of the company still. We are also very lucky to have tied a very strong advisory board with Professor Bertrand Pitt as the chairman from Michigan, Ann Arbor, and Gordon Williams, professor at Harvard, together with Deepak Pat, which is the key opinion leader in thrombosis in the world, Fayez Sanad, and also Gunnar Olsson, which has a long track record from AstraZeneca. And they said at the meeting just recently, we should further explore the use of VPA-CS1 for epigenetic modulation in cardiovascular disease associated with fibrotic inflammation and pressure increase, both systemically and pulmonary. And we have taken up on that, and we aim to, during the autumn, broaden our scope. For the moment, our portfolio CS1 is entering phase 2 in orthopedic surgery, orthopedic knee surgery to prevent thrombosis. CS014 is still in preclinical. In thrombosis, we aim for doing the study in knee surgery, deep venous thrombosis, but later going to stroke prevention in atrial fibrillation. What's upcoming in our company? We need to make strategic decisions about our broadened scope in epigenetic modulation, in fibrosis, inflammation, and systemic and pulmonary pressure. What kind of indication could that lead to? We need to have all the approvals for the phase 2 study. We have already gotten some, and we need to scale up our production of goods and start a phase 2 study. So what's our value proposition? We have a product portfolio which includes the lead candidate CS1 and a runner-up CS014. This is a dual antithrombotic with a minimal risk of bleeding and is based on a novel formulation of VPA, has been approved for phase 2 study in preventing thrombosis in orthopedic knee surgery, and CS014 is currently in preclinical. The possibilities to expand our scope is really exciting with the epigenetic modulation in cardiovascular disease. In addition to that, thrombotic effect also show antifibrotic, anti-inflammatory properties and pressure lowering in the pulmonary and systemic circulation. Thank you very much for your attention.